Welcome to Shorty SuperCoach. How are you guys? We're back from Adelaide. I could not be bothered doing the review last night. We probably got back around 10, but it was a fair old trek from Adelaide to Geelong, and I was like, nah, I'm going to smash an Easter egg and go to bed, I think. So it's pretty much what I did, but I thought we best try and get this one out. It's been a pretty slow morning, and it was a good trip though. I went over to Gather Round, which most of you probably knew already. Went with the old man, my mate Tyson, and my sister as well. So, yeah, it was good. We went to Port Adelaide and Essendon on the Friday night, and that was pretty cool because, the other games are pretty chill in their atmosphere unless it gets really close. But to go to a game full of, Port Adelaide fans and it was a bit more, die hard, that was pretty cool. And then Saturday, just went to a pub, watched a bit of Sydney and West Coast, and had a double header of Freo and Carlton, which was a pretty crazy finish, and then Geelong and the Bulldogs, of course, which was good. The Cats held on because for a while there it looked like they were going to get run over. But, it was a pretty big day Saturday. I mean, I love my footy, but 8 quarters of footy into one spot, just big day. It's a big day, but it was pretty cool, and saw a couple of long-time watchers of the channel as well. Caught up with Luke and Jono, so that was cool. Nice to catch up with them. Haven't seen them for a little bit as well. And then, Sunday was just all about heading home, really. So, it was just a good trip. It goes bloody quick. I mean, the drive over there went super fast. It's an 8-hour drive, but we're just, full of vibes, looking forward to it, banter, doing some of the quizzes that I do for you guys as well. The way home, though, oh, man. If the trip over there felt like about 5 instead of 8, the trip back probably felt the best part of 12 or 13. There were a couple of unexpected delays and... it took a little while coming back. It's a bit of a slog when you've had your fun and you just really want to get home and chill out. But, no, a really cool weekend. The vibes are pretty awesome. It's good to see so many supporters of different clubs and that. So, no, I enjoyed it, and we'll definitely go back next year, that's for sure. So, in terms of SuperCoach, I haven't looked at my rank. As you guys know, I like to just keep that one under wraps until I talk to you guys. But I get the sense... it's a drop in the rank. I started the week well, but the captain didn't come through for me. Lockie Bramble just destroyed me, a bit of a point of difference from the week before. Came undone. So I'm expecting a drop, and a drop it is. So we dropped 6,000 spots. Look, it's not a shocking score, but I think probably not having the VC on Heaney really hurt me. But anyway, let's go through the side. So Tom Stewart at 77. These are those little mini calls that just frustrate you. He's playing good footy, but it was him or Luke Ryan. I was happy to go with Tom Stewart, but, the short-term call sort of, you lose a few points. Harry Sheasel's on fire. Nick Dacos, he's not at his best. He's not at his best, but still scoring okay numbers. Elliot Yeo has proved a really good pick. He's on fire, and if he can stay fit, he's looking like an absolute gem of a pick. D'Ambrosio, he's starting to get to that point where you could think about trading him out soon, and I'll touch on a few of my trade plans once I go through the side. Zach Williams had his highest score and probably looked as good as I'd seen him. Actually provided a bit of dash towards the end of the game and looked as confident as he has. Now you talk about Tom Stewart and Luke Ryan, it's a bit disappointing. You got to celebrate when it does go your way. And I ummed on Tom Brown and Josh Draper for a long time. I was like, do I just go the slightly cheaper guy? I mean, who knows what they'll score? And I thought, look, go with Tom Brown because he's a known interceptor through his junior days. He's a high pick, and he's had good intercepts in the small amount of possessions that he has won already. But no way did I expect him to score 95. So that's a bit of a gem. Looks like he could make me a bit of cash, and I don't expect 95 too often. Just continue on with a few 70s and 80s would be beautiful. Howes has also probably done his dash. Made a little bit of coin, but he'll probably go for Closey or Cloese, however we say that one, turned up in his first game for Gold Coast. So there's your skipper, Tom Green. It's so frustrating when you're watching a guy that you normally just watch and you don't have too much stress about him, and then you look, he scored 140 again. And then when he's your skipper, you're watching him ever so much more intently. And I'm like, fucking hell, what's going on here? He's giving away free kicks. He's bloody not getting the handball received when you think he's going to. I didn't check because I panicked. I was like, fuck, this could be like an 85 or a 90 on my skipper. But when I saw 109, I was actually kind of relieved because like, it's not good, but it's better than what I first thought. Tuke Miller, his lowest score of the year, but he's averaging fine. And like we said, we celebrate the wins. Nick Martin has been a huge win. He dominated on Friday night, and after many people jumped off him after a week or even two, I backed him in and he's delivered beautifully for me, so I'm stoked about that. Bramble did not work. So I had Nick Martin on Friday night watching him, and it's just a dream. Every time it goes to the back line, he seems to get it. He's picking it up beautifully off the deck, clean hands, getting the handball received. You're like, this is a dream. Nothing better than when you're watching a guy that you really want to perform, and he does. Then it was the opposite the next day for Bramble. I'm like, far out. Am I getting him confused with Oscar Baker, or maybe that was him and not Bailey Dale? I don't know, because you're at the game. Sometimes you don't see everything. I'm like, I feel like he's barely touched the thing, and that was correct. So I was hopeful at the game that he might have just got to 50, but 32 kills you for the week, and it kills you for his price gen. So he's going to be a trade this week. Matty Roberts just keeps doing his thing. He should get to around 400k, which is fantastic. McKercher actually got centre bounce time, which was interesting. Didn't really equate to a good score. I'd be happy to just see him roll around half back like he did in round one and knock out an 80 odd, but that's okay. Sanders looks really good. He's got a ton coming up very soon. No doubt about that. He's going to ton up shortly. And Harley Reid, I backed him in. If you saw my TikTok, I said, Nat Fyfe, Harley Reid, back him in. I even went a score prediction. And you can clarify this on my TikTok. I went Nat Fyfe 98 and I went Harley Reid 84. And Harley Reid actually outdid me there. So that was fantastic. Again, I was sitting in the pub just watching him intently and got out of my seat when he kicked the first goal. I thought, look, I've put me kahunas on the line here. I need you to come good, Harley. And he did. So that's a nice little, I guess, second wind in his cash gen. He'd been slowly building, but I just felt, I'd said it a few times, I felt like it wasn't far from him having a really big breakout game. He's too good to not. Windsor looks classy. He's playing better than he's scoring. There's no doubt about that. He looks classy. Wilson got back to some better form. Actually had a fair bit more of the footy than maybe a 58 would suggest. Most of it uncontested, which probably didn't help. And Jai Clark probably looks destined for a little stint in the twos or a rest. He did look pretty tired and just not quite at the level and got subbed off eventually. Max Gorn was fantastic. He just keeps up his good form. And Brodie Grundy started the game really well and probably didn't quite deliver to his absolute premium. But he's having an okay season, and I'm happy to still just stick by him and expect better scores to come. Isaac Heaney's just ridiculous at the moment. Just ridiculous. Like, watching the game, I didn't feel like it was a 160, but everything he did was just class and turned to scores. Like, just insane stuff. So 165, probably where I lost a lot of my points. It's one of those weird ones where you're like, man, it's great that he's going well because he's in my team, but I don't have him involved in my captaincy at all, which hurts. And it's tough because against West Coast, he dined out, but then the week before, Bontempelli was just in second gear and didn't dine out. So it's always tough. I probably should have put the VC on him in hindsight, but that happens. Jackson was solid. It'd be really interesting to see what happens when Sean Darcy comes back. It looks like that could be this week, so watch this space. Flanders moved to half back, so that hurt Sexton, obviously, getting dropped, but Flanders looked fantastic off half back, and maybe that's his new role. I don't know. Tom Powell could barely find the footy, but laid a stack of tackles. I hope he can bounce back. It's one of those interesting ones where the next 2-3 weeks are big for him if he can actually be a keeper in our forward line, or if he just becomes a guy that started the year well and then drifted. Hopefully not that. Jordan, I think he's a trade out. Just hasn't been the year or the start to the year we wanted, and now he's got the bye, so it seems like a no-brainer. The break-even's high. He's not playing this week. He's got to go. And there's Nat. There is Nat Fyfe tunning up. It's a beautiful sight. It's a beautiful sight. We backed him in and he delivered. So I was stoked about that. Still refuses to lay a tackle. I mean, he just will not lay a bloody tackle. But he was much better on the weekend. And I still think at some stage he'll be traded out. I don't think he's a guy that's going to be a 90-plus averager like we probably hoped he would be. But it was nice to see him perform on the weekend, and he'll get to over 400k and be a nice trade at some stage. Now, I did get cut off there, so hopefully you caught most of what I said. I'm not sure how much got cut off, but basically I was just saying, it's great to see Darcy and Tom Brown come in and deliver instantly, get that cash gen moving straight away, because sometimes that's the hardest bit, bringing guys in those next wave of rookies, we can always nail those first ones because we get a full preseason. We know they're in. Where those second wave of rookies can be tricky because they just don't always come along as thick and fast as we'd like when we're looking to get that next wave of cash gem. But these ones look pretty good. So let's just, first of all, sub in a few of these guys and see what the team's going to look like this week. Obviously, this was one of the main reasons we wanted Luke Jackson, but for that dual position element with Grundy out of the side. And of course, Heaney's out. And like I could swap Jordan and Wilson, but I won't for now because I'll just simply trade Jordan. But look, Charlie Comben. I think I always call him Comben. Langers would probably be right on that. But 227 and just ridiculous scenes. I didn't see the game in full. Like, I watched bits and pieces as I was tucking into some food at that little hub just outside Adelaide Oval. But he was a fella that we'd sort of spoken about at times. But to score 107, and I think he scored 120 actually in SuperCoach. 129, that is reckless. 25 touches, 5 tackles, 8 rebound 50s. I can only imagine he had 6 or 7 plus intercepts. Holy shit, 13 intercepts. That's wild. Was he taking kickouts? So he's a clear inclusion. It's 227. We'd love him to be a little cheaper when we bring guys in, but you're going to get a hell of a lot of coin on the way back. So it might be Jordan. Okay, so no kick-ins. He's obviously just doing some great intercepting work. Now, I'm going to have to do a bit more research on him, but gee, you can't say no to that. It was a fantastic score. So looks likely that Comben comes in for Jordan, which would free me up with another 120-odd K and take me up to overall about 180, 190. And then there's a temptation. So my list of guys to bring in. I've got Sinclair falling nicely. Probably won't fall too much more. I want to bring him in soon. Sicily, is he still the absolute premium we want? He's dropping. He'll continue to drop. I've got faith in him, but I want to see him really get back to some good stuff. Jordan Dawson, he's going to be at a price that's just way too good to refuse. He'll fall to around 500 to 520, I reckon. I'm going to have to get him in at some stage. Davies Uniacke, again, he's going to fall. He's come off 88 and 67. He's going to fall way too far for me to not get him. And then Clayton Oliver, again, it's sort of like, can we trust him? I mean, is he back? Is he going to be back? He's obviously playing good footy, but it's not the 110 plus footy that we're used to from Clayton. But he's had next to no preseason, so surely once he does really build into it after the bye, rounds 8, 9, 10 and beyond, surely he's back to his best. I'm backing him in. I'm going to watch it, but if you get Clayton Oliver at probably less than 500k, I don't think we can say no to that. I'm prepared to run the risk that he never gets back to his best, but just die trying. If he gets to around 500, which he will, can't say no. So they're the guys I want to bring in. So the other one is Closey, Sam Closey, who's a 102k defender and scored 108. And also just keep an eye on Mac Andrew, who was 304k, but he turned up 16 intercepts. He looked ridiculous. I was watching, I was like, who's this again? I remember he was a high pick, but who is this bastard just marking everything? Unbelievable stuff. So, Closey for, probably Howes at some stage in the next week or two. It could be this week because Howes doesn't really have much cash. I like to get guys on the bubble, but it probably doesn't matter too much. And then I'm thinking D'Ambrosio, he probably has another price rise in him. And then I feel like Sinclair's break-even's 115, D'Ambrosio's 49, so, maybe D'Ambrosio just makes me another 10 or 15k, Sinclair goes up or down 5 or so k, doesn't really move, and then you make that change next week. So, I don't think it'll be a trade boost this week, but I feel like McKercher's coming towards the end of his run unless he gets another good score. Bramble would go this week. So I'm thinking the trades this week would be Jordan and Bramble. And the question would be, I think Jordan de Cobden's the clear one. What's Bramble's break even? 73, that's not ideal at all. Definitely Ed Richards coming back in just seemed to affect him. I know he scored well with Richards in the team anyway, but definitely did us no favours. So I'm going to have to work on exactly what I do there. I'm not 100% sure. Because not sure. We'll wait and see. But there are a few names that I think we'll bring in over the next couple. So how many leagues did we win? Probably not stacked. So 8 out of 18 is not ideal. But got pumped in bragging rights there. Yeah, got done pretty easily there. Got a win in one of Shorty's and another one, a tight one there, and Unzips for Cripps. I've seen his name in the quiz a few times. A close one there from Josh. Yeah, pretty comfortable there a bit of a close loss there. Another somewhat close loss to Chocky Frogs. That hurts. Oh, I'm not sure what's going on in there from Ollie. Got absolutely pumped with just 1,400 and then a real close one in the A-Team League. We love to see that. Another close one in Shorty SuperCoach 6 over Spooky Mookie. Look out. Got the win there. Got absolutely pumped by Darty Party. Nice little win there in the Warm Ponds League over Michaela. And then, Spills got me. Oh, Spills. You got me by about 40 points, mate. Oh, Jesus. That's brutal. Yeah, nice. Yeah, good stuff. Well, look, I think that's about all. I want to smash this one out. We'll do the TikTok as well. But, yeah, got a couple of things to think about. But right now, it's all about getting those next wave of rookies. Make sure you don't miss them. And make sure we can get some of these fallen premiums. Because you're not always going to be able to get Zach Butters and Bontempelli and all the Petrarca, all of them, Sarong. You won't be able to get every single one of them by the end of the year. If you do, you've done extremely well. But I think sometimes we've just got to pick off guys when they're cheap. They may not be top 8 mids or defenders, but they're certainly going to be better than what their price is. And I think with 40 trades, we can afford to be a bit more like, all right, Luke Davis-Uniacke is at 512k. I don't know if he's going to be a top 8 mid like I maybe did a month ago, but he's better than 512, so I'm going to get on him. And there's nothing to say we can't sideways trade guys, because we do have a lot more trades. So I think let's get as many scorers in as we can and then make minor adjustments with our last 10 to 12 trades, because we should have a few left over. But good luck for the coming week. I'll be going live on Tuesday. I've got a birthday dinner on Wednesday night, so we've got to change things up. But, I'll talk to you soon. Cheers.